My name is Michael Santos. I'm the founder of Prison Professors. Every day we create these daily discussion topics and we send them in to people in jails and prisons with one goal in mind. We want people to understand they've got to find the way to muster the strength and the discipline to overcome all the challenges that they see around them. And there's always going to be challenges. When people check in to jail or prison or they're serving time, they're not in the Ritz-Carlton. They're in a place where it can feel uncomfortable. It can feel difficult to be apart from the people you love and the people who love you. It's something that I know a lot about because I got locked up in 1987 and I spent the next 26 years in jails and prisons across the country, prisons of every security level, and I knew that regardless of what external forces existed, I had to find the power within to prepare myself for a better life. That's what we try to teach through all of our content at Prison Professors, is to show people, regardless of what's going on around you, every individual has the responsibility and the duty to say, I hate prison so much that I am going to work hard on myself. I may not be able to control what's going on in the Capitol or what's going on with stakeholders of the institution, but I have 100% control over what I do. And if I can focus on what I can do, I can sow seeds for a better life, for a better outcome. And that's what today's lesson is all about in our program on the daily discussion. It is about checking your attitude. And I just want to read from the blurb of today's lesson. It says, one leader wrote a great quote about attitude. I don't remember the leader, but I remember the quote. The leader said nothing could help the man with a bad attitude. And similarly, nothing can stop a man who has the right attitude. The attitude we bring to any task will make all the difference in what we achieve. Now think about that. If you know anybody who's been in prison and was successful in overcoming the challenges and the complications of prison, then it would seem it makes sense to follow that guy's adjustment strategy, that guy's behavior, because that guy's behavior led to the successful outcome we wanted. He had the same challenges as everybody else around him, but he had a different attitude. And that mindset gave him the strength to learn, to enroll in classes, to reject, problems that or behavior that could lead to disciplinary infractions. It gave him the strength to choose friends that had an alignment like his, to focus on preparing for success. It gave him the discipline to read books that he could use to learn to advance his life. It gave him the self-empowerment to be self-directed and wake up early or just focus on executing the plan that he put in place. I know that you can do that because I've learned it from leaders who have done it. I followed those leaders, and my journey through 9,500 days in prison created more opportunities than many people may have thought I should have had. And they may think that I'm leading a career that I shouldn't be able to leave right now for somebody who did 26 years in prison. But regardless of what success I have out here, I'm deeply committed to passing along the lessons that leaders taught me with hopes that they can help other justice-impacted people. So let's go ahead and turn to our lesson for today. I started serving my sentence at the dawn of the computer generation. Bill Gates, a co-founder of Microsoft, spoke about his vision. He said he wanted to build a society where every house and every business would have a personal computer. Since he had the right attitude, he could create plans, strategies, and tactics to make his dream a reality. Today, I have more than 6 computers in my house, and the internet connects me to the world at all times. Anticipating that I would serve multiple decades, I worried that not knowing about computers would put me at a disadvantage. Wanting to do everything possible to overcome this, I found a prison job requiring me to use a computer. The supervisor who gave me the job admired my attitude. When I laid out the adjustment plan guiding me, he said he would support me. After completing my assigned duties, he surreptitiously authorized me to use the computer to complete my schoolwork. For 3 years, I used a computer every day. The computer had few applications. Most importantly, I could learn how to use a word processor and an electronic spreadsheet. Every day, I set a goal of writing at least 1,000 words. Through that practice, I learned about computers and developed more confidence as a writer. I needed to practice writing and basic arithmetic to get the highest use of my access to the computer. Without notice, my supervisor changed. The new supervisor did not support my computer use and transferred my work assignment. Although the supervisor had the title of supervisor, he told me he did not think people in prison should be going to college. He certainly did not want to support the effort. Although nearly 3 decades have passed since that encounter, I remember the disappointment. When I lost access to that computer, I lost a massive part of my adjustment. I had learned how to write on a keyboard. Using a pen and a piece of paper did not feel natural. It was harder. I had to adjust. To make that adjustment, I had to check my attitude. I couldn't allow the disappointment to suffocate my hope. I had to create a new mindset. I remember forcing myself to write sentences and paragraphs. Before the computer, all authors wrote by hand. They had to learn. Similarly, I would have to learn. It would work. Complaining about losing access would not empower me in any way. But if I could learn to feel comfortable writing by hand, I could develop a new skill to help me overcome the challenges I expected to face. Making that adjustment became a character-building exercise, another opportunity to show that neither external circumstances nor the decisions of others will define who or what I am. That example from decades ago taught me a lesson. I could not control what others did, but I could always control how I would respond. So there are questions. In what ways has your attitude influenced your response to a difficult situation? Provide an example of how a good attitude helped you overcome a problem. Provide an example of how you have seen a bad attitude aggravate a problematic situation. Think of an objective way to gauge whether you have a positive attitude. How would those who know you best describe your attitude about the predicament you're in now? And the word of the day is surreptitious. I encourage you to define surreptitious and use surreptitious in a sentence. These are the ways that a person can self-direct and create a pathway that shows he is using his time every single day to prepare for a life of meaning and relevance and dignity when he gets out of prison. No staff member has control over your attitude. No law has control over your attitude. The only person that has control over your attitude is you. And you should control what is going to influence your attitude. These were lessons that I learned while going through 26 years in prison. I could have spent my time complaining. There were many people who used to say, "Why are you so intense? Why are you working so hard to get this education when you have so much time to serve?" And you know what my answer would be? I have to do it because you're not doing it. You see, if somebody else in prison isn't doing something, that should be the fuel that you need to work harder. Nobody knows how hard I had to work in prison. And regardless of what I show or what I've got right now, nobody can see how hard I work every day. The only one that can do it is me. It's my attitude that forces me or gives me the motivation to get out of bed at sometimes 3 o'clock in the morning like I did today. I had to get out of bed at 3 o'clock in the morning today because I knew I had a lot of work to complete before I would board a flight this morning. I had to write content to get books set up to be published on Amazon. I had to provide instructions to my team on what I would need them to do while I'm away. I had to create videos. I had to create audio files. I had to exercise. All of this work before 8:30 in the morning. Why? Because it's my attitude that's important, nobody else's. Just like it's your attitude that's going to influence whether you emerge from this challenge successfully with your dignity intact. So I just wanted to provide this daily discussion to the participants in our digital programming. We're grateful to our partners at Adovo. We're grateful to the institutions that allow us to bring this message inside of jails and prisons. But if you're watching this outside on YouTube or on iTunes, we do hope that you will subscribe to our channels, and we hope that you will visit us at prisonprofessors.com, where we produce content every day with hopes of helping justice-impacted people get the best possible outcome. We believe in you.